This is Josiah Plays Sunless Sea. Okay, we're here at Gator's Morn. I don't exactly remember what we were doing. Maybe we had just arrived? We must have, because we don't have the... Oh no, that's the pirate poet. I don't think there's anything for us to do here right now. Let's just take a look at what I'm trying to accomplish. Answers in IREM for the sea chest. We haven't found that yet. Last tour wants me to go to Khan's Glory. That's what we were doing, the last tour. Devil Bone Dice or Outlandish Artifacts. The Snow Child. Alright, well there's lots of stuff going on and lots of stuff to do throughout the Dark Sea. Carrying a live specimen, some blemigans. Strange catch. Unstamped crate of human souls. Brilliant souls, rather. I actually got these 12 tomb colonists that I'm carrying around in order to take them on this tour. So I need to find Khan's Glory. That's where they want to go next on the tour. Do I want to introduce blemigans to the Morn? I'm not sure what that does. It seems like a bad idea, though. Alright. Well, we've explored a very large chunk of the map now. Khan's Glory, I think, is going to be over here somewhere. So I could just go looking for it. Let's see if I find it. Let's go. And there's this place called Wisdom, which... The Sea of Lilies is a long way to the north. Oh, here's a new harbor I haven't been to. There's the Sea of Lilies, I guess. So we're gonna check out this Wisdom place. Nope, Midit Harbor. I don't have something awaits me. And I need it. Looks like some sort of big fortress or compound or facility or... We watch for fungal pads in the Sea of Lilies. There is a prison here, guarded by knot oracles. Is this the prison? A prison called Wisdom? Wisdom was the name of my first ship. What is this? Restless nights. In the watches of the night, you pad softly past the hatch to the crew quarters. A man cries out softly in his sleep, desperately. Another. Do I want to ignore them or inquire about their dreams with a 52% chance of success? I think I'll go for it. I'm gonna go inquire about their dreams. I failed. Into terror. Eyes in a face. The whole neath lit up like a sniffer mask. There's something in the roof, Captain. It is the roof. It's watching us. Eyes in a face. Eyes in a face. You have him subdued. No discipline this time, but you require your first officer to keep an eye on him. Got 10 fragments. Into terror. Oh, that's not so bad. Waiting for something to await me. There it is. The waves reflect with light. Wisdom. Oh, this is the prison. Alright. There's a strange-looking toad-shaped thing with what apparently is a shitload of eyes in the foreground. And they have the towers and the spotlights and so forth, like a good prison would have. The prison walls are mercilessly steep. Nutmit built this place as a prison for the Khanate. Now it answers only to its governor, and its governor answers to no one. We can hand over a prisoner, but we don't have a prisoner. We can exchange a secret for a prisoner, which we can't do because we don't have enough oh my god, page is 175. Whoa. We can put a Blemigan ashore. High, smooth walls with no obvious cracks or tendril holds. Outflow pipes guarded by the Z. If the Blemigan can break in, its talents are wasted on mere propagation. Compile a port report. Watch the comings and goings. Let's do that. Not so many goings. Ships from the Khanate are most common, but you see Chelonite vessels, polythreme triremes with chained and sulky unfinished men, corsairs disposing of their miscreants, even one furtive Iremi skiff. The wardens pay them well for their prisoners, and I now have a port report wisdom. A prison island. Or the Not Oracle's larder. I can ransom a prisoner, but I don't have 3,000 echoes. I can rescue a prisoner with crew 4 and no doom, wisdom forewarned. Scale the walls, enter through the outflow pipes, evade the guards, secure your rescuee without raising any alarms. Don't get eaten by giant toads. You'll only get one chance at this. It is unlikely to be profitable unless you have someone specific in mind. Alright, so I'm not doing anything else here. Fuel and supplies for inflated prices. Nothing else to do at this place at this time. So we visited the prison, we got a port report, and we're out of here. Just gonna kind of work our way over this way and see what we find. We'll light this up. The lily pad looking business. Does it make sense? It's called the Sea of Lilies, is it not? We'll throw the bat out there. Isle of Cats is some distance to the northeast. Alright, well let's go hit up the Isle of Cats. Discovered Isle of Cats. The false stars above are feral amber, like tiger's eyes. Stamford's Expanse, named for one who lost his child to cats. And here is the Isle of Cats itself. Let's look for a port. Presumably this island is completely, there's a port, completely inhabited by cats, perhaps? Or maybe it's inhabited by people, but there's just a lot of cats here. Discovered Peter's Rocks. Who's this? Somebody who's about to die is who it is. Scintillac. Lets me reset my... Enough with the flares. gonna destroy you. I destroyed you. I took some significant damage there, though. I took 4, 8, 16, 21 points. I guess 21 isn't that bad when you have 300. Defeated an Outcast class vessel. What do you do with her? I scuttle her. I have a cache of curiosities. In my cache is a long locked box. Is that a coffin? It carries a delivery. Oh, did I get a long box? I got a Soothing Cooper long box, so I can take that to Station 3 and get something for it. Opening long box may destroy contents, reads a tag. Alright, cool. Took some damage, but you know, it was worth it. Sometimes you have to prey upon other vessels. I'm assuming they were bad. Here we are at Port Cavendish, on the Isle of Cats, where there are roses. We better save here. Port Cavendish, a scatter of yellow-lit honey dens and brightly painted alehouses. So it's kind of a hedonistic place. To the southeast rises the stone tower of Cavendish Abbey. It's also a religious place, I guess. Sometimes the two go hand in hand. Its ramparts hung with crimson and gold banners. There are sailors from all across the Neath, hauling cargo, dicing and brawling good-naturedly on the docks. A little good-natured brawling. The air carries the sound of sea shanties sung with more enthusiasm than skill, and the smell of roses edged with brimstone. A piratical welcome. "Welcome to the Isle of Cats," the wide-eyed dockmaster says brightly. "Would you like to bribe me not to write down your details in this nice official ledger?" I can spend 5 echoes to bribe that guy. That sounds like a good idea. I can compile a port report. Though the Isle seems at present beyond the reach of the Admiralty's laws, that does not mean that the Admiralty lacks interest in their activities. I can buy a shipment of red honey. Could sell it for a profit elsewhere if you were inclined to take your chance of the revenue, Ben, but I'm not allowed to because I don't have a key to the cage gardens. 600 echoes, wow. I could put a Blemigan ashore. What will they make of it? What will it make of them? I can sell sunlight. Sunlight, that most dangerous of pleasures. Here in Port Cavendish there's an appetite for dangerous pleasures. But will you be able to negotiate with the sippers of sunlight? I would need to have a sunlight-filled mirror catch box. I know I can fill a mirror catch box on the surface, but I don't have a mirror catch box, nor do I know where to acquire one. Fuel and supplies at the standard inflated rates. So it looks like the wise thing to do would be to compile a port report. Roses and Kings. You spend half a day observing the docks and note an astonishing number and variety of ships. Was that a connate trimaran nestled beside a vessel from the Iron Republic? The dockhands complain loudly that they have never been busier. The caddies talk ceaselessly and carelessly about smuggling and piracy, but even the most hardened sailors lower their voices when they mention the king. They go even quieter when they talk about the Rose Garden. You make careful notes. Perhaps the Admiralty will understand what they mean, even if you don't. A dissolute smuggler's haven of alehouses and honey's den. Sounds like a fun place. I think we will bribe the dockmaster. It's only 5 echoes, and probably a good idea. You hand over the coins, and she tips you a sharp smile before waving you to the nearest alehouse. The entire process is straightforwardly corrupt and pleasingly efficient. Lost 5 echoes, but I gained suspicion. Oh, you rapscallion. Well, I don't really like that. Oh, but I get to do stuff here now. Okay, cool. I guess it was worth it then. The Rose and Tiger. The alehouse's sign is a tiger painted the color of rose petals. Someone has gone to great trouble and expense to gild the creature's eyes. They look out over the port, feral and unseeing. A caged hive of lamplighter bees hangs from the ceiling like a chandelier. A few sailors give you hard-mouthed, assessing looks, but most ignore your presence entirely. Significant tokens. The caddies all wear a pair of amber stones threaded around their necks or pinned to their collars. Clandestine doings. A whispered conversation, the clink of coins, an exchange of goods. Religious observances. Is that a crimson-veiled nun? What sort of nun would be in a place like this? Or I can leave the alehouse. There must be more to the Isle of Cats than drunken sots and Z stories. Make sure you've learned all you wish to before you leave this place. Alright, well, let's find out about these tokens. Cat's eyes, one of them says, for the Pirate King. As far as you can gather, the Pirate King's name is Leopold, and he controls all the trade on the island. Half of the caddies believe that he can take the form of a crimson tiger and creep into their dreams. The other half suspect, more prosaically, that he simply eats those who displease him. Oh, okay. Well, he's either a crazy cat shapeshifter dreamwalker, or he's just a simple cannibal. Either way, not someone to be trifled with. Let's learn about the clandestine doings. The merest taste. You turn your head as though you are admiring one of the moldering draperies hung from the wall. A vial flashes in the buyer's trembling hands. He uncorks it, pours a few drops of thick red liquid down his throat. The vial drops to the floor. When you look back up, he is gone. You blink and look around. Nobody else seems in the least perturbed that a man disappeared from their midst. You pick up the fallen vial and examine the traces left inside. Sticky honey gleaming with redness, entirely unlike blood. It's red honey. Yeah. Very illegal, apparently. Religious observances. Is that a crimson-veiled nun? What sort of nun would be in a place like this? A mellifera's sister, of course, she responds, performing a complicated negotiation between veil, thick glove, and glass of mushroom wine. You ask what one of those is, and she snorts, I'm glaring at you underneath this bloomin' veil. You act appropriately cowed, and the mellifera's sister thaws a little. We are beekeepers and honey harvesters. The catties owe their prosperity to us, and the Pirate King, too. She slurps the last of the mushroom wine behind her veil, and the barkeep glides over to refill her glass, eyes respectfully downcast. So they have an abbey here, and at the abbey they keep bees, and the bees produce the honey. The honey that they make the drug, the like hallucinogenic and or mystical drugs out of. Alright, I think we found out all we can here for now. Nothing about cats, actual cats. They call these pirates here the caddies, but nothing about actual cats or why the place is called the Isle of Cats. Laws of the land. The barkeep stops you before you reach the door and hands you a brooch set with 2 amber stones. He waits impassively until you pin it to your clothes. Everybody wears the cat's eyes here, he tells you, moving aside to let you pass. Just a friendly reminder that the Pirate King is watching. It seems that no place, then, is truly lawless. Isle of Cats, Pirate King's notice quality is now 1. You are almost entirely beneath his notice. A brooch of amber cat's eyes and a warning. Oh, now I can do other stuff here. I can go to the Honeyed Tongue. It's both brothel and honey den, run by someone the caddies refer to as the King's Claw. I can go to Cavendish Abbey. The crimson-clad mellifera's sisters patrol its ramparts and tend their hives of lamplighter bees. Or the same options I had before. Well, maybe we should check out these 2 locations. I'm going to manual save on slot 2. Let's check out the Honeyed Tongue. Entering the brothel is like sliding into the dream of a surface orientalist. Jewel-embroidered cushions, bright silk drapes, gilded statues of elephants, sun bears, and clouded leopards. Silver censers release curling plumes of rose-scented smoke into the air. The courtesans are red-lipped and coal-smudged. When you catch their eyes, they smile back at you with professional interest. Your actions will attract the Pirate King's notice. You need 5 times Pirate King's notice to gain an offer from a patron. A meeting with the King's Claw, I can't do because I don't have enough notice. Ask what red honey is. You know, of course, only the particulars may have slipped your mind. I can comfort a Z-Captain. A Z-Captain is weeping gently into a courtesan's bosom, muttering of her lost crew and rose gardens. Take 60 fragments. I can swap tales with a honey smuggler. A few rousing Z-stories should loosen his tongue about the mysterious pirate king. I can use up my Z-stories. Alright, let's ask what red honey is, then. One of the nearby courtesan's eyebrows lift infinitesimally, but his reply is practiced. When lamplighter bees suck the nectar of the crimson strain of exile's rose, they are driven to madness. They enter the brains of humans and harvest their memories. He shudders as though imagining the process himself. Those memories are instilled in red honey. Each sip is a burst of memory on the tongue. Deliciously awful, isn't it? He flutters his dyed feather fan. Yeah, I gained some terror, that's how awful that is. I guess we'll comfort a Z-Captain. Why not? They're all tending the gardens now, she wails, and begins to weep again. My poor crew! You wait for a hitch in the sobs and inquire further. It is a slow, delicate business drawing answers out of her, but you are nothing if not perseverant. It seems her crew was conscripted by the Lady of the Gardens, and that their duties are something far worse than horticulture. You leave her reciting the names of her lost sailors, and commending them to Salt's mercy. I lost 60 fragments, I gained 1 Pirate King's notice. More passing awareness than notice, really. I guess we'll swap tales with a honey smuggler as well. We'll use up our 5Z stories, but it's probably worth it. Sorry. You touch your cat's eye brooch, and the Z-Captain chortles. A pirate king is watching ya! Indeed he is, though not many see him these days. The people you want to watch out for are the King's Claw and the Lady of the Gardens. The Claw makes sure everyone keeps in line on the island, and the lady, well, she's the keeper of the Cage Gardens, where they extract... He seems to remember himself all of a sudden, and blanches. Forgot I said any of that, will you, Captain? Lost 5 sea stories for that. But I gained notice. Your antics intrigue. Total is 3. Nothing else I can do here now. I guess I could comfort a sea captain again, but I'm not going to at the moment. Let's go to Cavendish Abbey. The Mellifera's sisters make their home in the richly appointed stone tower of Cavendish Abbey. Their thick gloves and crimson mesh helmets are worn, less for modesty and more for practicality. They tend the hives of the lamplighter bees all across the isle, and make a religious observance of harvesting red honey for the Pirate King. Alright, so I need 5 times notice to gain an offer from a patron. So it looks like one of the 2 people that I could notice me are the King's Claw person in the other place, or now the Lady of the Gardens offer. Her name, she says, is Zara. You should use it. So I can get an offer from one of the 2. Both of them require 5 notice. Let's see. I can gossip with a novice, but I can't actually because I don't have a lamentable relic. I can fuel for the bee smokers. The sister who tends to smokers is the talkative sort. I can give up 5 fuel. Or I can have a meeting with the abbess. She's always interested in news from London. I can use my recent news here. Great, let's use that. You recite your news to the abbess, your voice stuttering every now and then in the cool silence of her office. Her face is entirely obscured by her thick veil, and it is impossible to read her reactions. Nonetheless, you must have pleased her. She orders one of her novices to load your ship with casks of mushroom wine. The abbey overlooks the rose garden, and so you make a point to linger at the windows. The roses bloom lush and wanton, each petal the color of sunset. A tall woman in a golden veil picks her way between the thorned bushes. I lost my recent news, but I got 5 casks of mushroom wine. And my Pirate King's notice has gone up to 4. Your antics intrigue. So I could give up some fuel for the bee smokers, and I would end up at the 5 that I need for an offer. I have a lot of fuel. I have 28. I could give up 5 fuel, so let's do it. Fuel for the bee smokers. Smoking them bees. The sister tells you that the Pirate King went to Abbey Rock 50 years ago and asked the abbess to send some of her novices to Port Cavendish. Oh, Abbey Rock. Okay, we've been there. Lots of times, in fact. You ask why, and she shakes her head. The better question is, why did the abbess send her precious novices to a place like this? You suggest a hefty bribe, or perhaps coercion. The sister cackles harshly. The sisters of the Rock respect strength of arms, which, of course, the Pirate King knew only too well. He challenged the abbess to a duel, and won. She didn't have much choice then. She cackles again. Ask our abbess if you don't believe me. She was one of those very novices sent across the Zee, and I've gained 60 fragments. But I lost 5 fuel, and I gained Pirate King's 5. You have his attention. So now, I can either take the Lady of the Gardens offer, or I can go back to the other place, the Honeyed Tongue, and get an offer from the... So, do I want the offer of the Lady of the Gardens? Or do I want the offer of the King's Claw? I don't actually know. I'm going to save again on slot 3. I'm thinking we try out the Lady of the Gardens offer. Her name, she says, is Zera. You should use it. Well, let's see what Zera wants with us. The Lady's Patronage. Oh, there's an interesting looking veil. We have not met, have we? No, this is definitely the first time. But, The Lady of the Cages shakes her head sharply. Best to proceed as if it is the first, don't you think? A veil of gold mesh obscures only her eyes, leaving her glistening, bitten lips bare. Perhaps 100 small silver keys jangle in a bunch at her left hip. I think we should be friends. I'm very important, you know. Or I was. No, still am. She pauses. Yes, I am quite sure I still am. I can accept her offer. It is always useful to be friends with important people, even if they're hazy on the subject. You may only have one patron on the Isle of Cats. Choose well. Or I can refuse her. You're quite busy at the moment, and possibly your grandmother is ill. Tough to decide. I guess we'll accept her offer for now. You should come back last Tuesday for another little chat. She pauses and huffs. No, that's not quite it. Ahem. Come back soon? Another time. Pick a good one. There aren't enough of those. That was probably a dismissal. Lady of the Cage's patronage quality is now 1, except Zera's patronage. She prefers Lady of the Gardens, or just Zera. Alright, a request from Zera. When you enter, the Lady of the Cages is sitting on the windowsill, staring out at her gardens. On the desk is an open casket. Within are 10 gleaming vials of red honey, carefully packed. Freshly harvested by the Mellifera's sisters. Touch them, go on. They're still warm from the honey spinner. Zera turns towards you. They are for the merchant venturer over in London. You'll take them for me, won't you? Unless you already have? No. Clearly not. No. Except, you are hardly squeamish about smuggling red honey. If you change your mind, you could always turn the shipment over to the Admiralty instead. Or refuse. You think of lamplighter bees and cage gardens, and your mouth, of its own volition, shapes a refusal. Let's say I accept. Do say hello to the merchant venturer for me, won't you? He was such an awful child. Zara's lips curve into something like a smile. I drank the memories of someone that went to school with him. You must make some sort of sound, because she gives you a little shrug. I like to know my business partners. It was Leopold's idea, of course. He's very thorough. Alright, quality is now 2, smuggling red honey to the merchant venturer. And I now have 1, smuggling a prescribed cargo of red honey times vials of red honey. 10 marked vials packed in a carefully padded casket. This stuff is too dangerous even to be proper illegal. Be cautious in taking it to London. Alright, so I can do that, okay? Or, let me say or 3 times because a simple 1 time saying or is not sufficient. Or, I could go and meet with the King's Claw instead and see what he wants, and then we'll decide which one we like better. The claw keeps us sweet in the maze of corridors above the brothel. Ah, the King's Claw. Interesting earrings. Okay. The King's Claw tells you to call them Izuri. They are dressed in azure silk and wearing clawed rings of enameled metal and ivory on the fingers of their right hand. They are very beautiful if you like them sharp and glittering and ambiguously gendered. You have caught the interest of the Pirate King, and therefore my interest as well, they say, fixing you with an amber-eyed gaze. You seem capable enough, and I have need of a capable friend. Interesting. You can never have too many friends in the Neath. Or perhaps you're unsettled by Izuri's beauty, or perhaps by the prospect of working for one so comfortable with the Caddy's Pirate King. Let's accept the offer. Wonderful. Utterly delightful. Izuri is all smiles and genial bonhomie. I shall start thinking of a task fit for your talents. Something special. They wave a jeweled hand. Run along now. There's a good captain. I've accepted Izuri's patronage. The King's Claw keeps order on the Isle of Cats. Visit Izuri's office. Your patron beckons you into their office above the honeyed tongue. I have a delivery for the alarming scholar in London, they tell you, over a meal of fungus blossom and sea lily soup. A delivery that needs to pass beneath the notice of the revenue. Izuri places a casket on the table and slides it open with a dull click. Inside are vials of what is unmistakably red honey. It gleams malevolently. I can accept a new commission. You are hardly squeamish about smuggling red honey. If you change your mind, you could always turn the shipment over to the Admiralty instead. Or I could refuse their request. You think of lamplighter bees and cage gardens, and your mouth of its own volition shapes a refusal. Let's say I said yes. The scholar will give you some notes in return. Bring them to me, and I shall be most pleased. Izuri slides the casket over to you, and very pointedly does not enumerate the consequences of returning without the notes. Instead, they smile, too wide, and you shiver. That's all for now. Antiquarian hasn't changed. I now have smuggling red honey. Alright, so either way they want me to smuggle red honey. It's just a matter of whether I'm taking it to the scholar or to the merchant venturer. And who I actually want to be working for. I think I'd rather be working for the Abbey sister than the King's Claw, all things considered. So we're going to load this save and just do it again really fast. Just zip through it. We'll go to the Abbey. We'll meet with the Lady of the Gardens. We'll accept her offer. We'll go here, we'll accept. And now we have the stuff, right? I already have the patronage. It's in my hold, right? I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Vials of red honey. It doesn't take up hold space. And if I look here under objectives, it doesn't say anything about it under objectives, but we know what we need to do. So we need to take that to the merchant venturer or whatever. Alright, I think we're done here at Port Cavendish on the Isle of Cats. Very interesting place. Strange place. Save on 12 before we leave. And off we go. Peter's Rocks. Now we're still looking for the Khan's heart, or the Khan's glory. Anyway, one part of the Khan's something. Visage is some distance to the east. I don't know where the Khanate actually is. I feel like it's down here somewhere. The crew. Discover the Reef of Roses. Discover the Afarox Channel. Oh, that's very interesting looking, isn't it? Visage, yeah. Visage is not what we're looking for right now. Sail through there. I'm sure it's a beautiful sight. More Visage. Fathom King's Hold is some distance to the south. Really? Just exploring the sea randomly now. What is that? Oh my god, Elder Anger Clab 600 health. No. And now we enter the Calumnies. There is a wild and glorious scent in the air, a kind of light. Why do Zalos fear this place? Probably because they're wise. Astival is some distance to the southeast. I mean, this Khanate place could be anywhere in all of this black. I don't think it's up north, though. I think it's down here someplace, but maybe it is kind of up. I don't know. I guess we'll hit this place up. Discovered Astival, discovered Leslie's Harbor, discovered Cobb's Way Bay. Oh, this is a cute little island. It's got some ruined... Astival. Alright, well it looks like a deserted island, actually. Annual save. Sun! A great beam of sunlight bathes the island. Wait, sunlight? What the fuck? Squint into the dazzle. Far above, there's a hole in the roof. Oh wow, this is a special place. In that light, you see beaches of white gold sand, trees heavy with bright fruit, the reds and blues and greens of the surface. It's like a little surface island under the Unterzee. Investigate the ruins. There was some sort of installation here, and what looks like a handsome country house. Who was here, and what happened to them? Gather supplies. The jungle here bursts with life. Go beachcombing. If you're lucky, you might pick up treasures. More likely, you'll pick up bits of wood and the occasional interesting arthropod. Put a blemigan ashore. Fallen fruit enriches the soil. Perhaps this will give the timid mushroom strength to resist the sun's rays. Compile a port report. Write fast, the light scars. Well, let's do the port report first. The burning after image. Your eyes water. The pages blur. The report is one of joy-filled complaint. Astival has a beauty too bright to be appreciated, but perhaps the Admiralty can find something of use. The light dazzles and burns, few can tolerate its strength. Well, let's investigate the ruins. Red birds singing. A garden overgrown with berry bushes. A wooden trestle table set for a meal. Chairs strewn with bones, a half-dozen skeletons. A red-breasted bird perches on a grinning cranium. It cocks an eye at you and bursts into song, a liquid, thrilling sound. It seems unperturbed as you approach to poke through the bones. No signs of violence, no fire, no bullets, no bites. These people died peacefully, sitting down to breakfast, as the surface sunlight spilled over them. Sunlight can kill at any time. The longer you remain here, the more danger you're in. So why did they stay? Perhaps they stayed because Astival is as beautiful as anywhere in the Neath, and 10 times as generous. It's a fine place for a colony. You could found your own pocket kingdom, if you could do something about the sun. But what? What has power over sunlight? What makes the impossible possible? Gained a memory of distant shores. It says to found a colony brings something to Astival that can protect against sunlight. You found a hidden ambition. Colonize and improve Astival to found your own kingdom. Oh, that sounds cool. That sounds better than my other ambition. So I gotta find something that can protect against sunlight. I can either gather supplies or go beachcombing. I think I will go beachcombing this time because I have a lot of supplies. I might find some fuel or something. Take a stroll along the beach. Perhaps the Z has brought you something. It's either driftwood, something glinting, or a nasty glob of goo. Let's see the glinting thing. Tangle of seaweed and pearls. The stories there are about drowning pearls. They've never seen the inside of an oyster. Place one under your tongue, and you can name the date of your own death. Don't place one under your tongue, because they're the transformed eyes of sailors lost at sea. Stories aside, they'll fetch a good price. Gained a drowning pearl. Still chilly from the fingers of drownies. Alright. I guess that's all we can do here for now. So we will just move on. Question is, where do I think the Khanate is from here? I think it must be up this way. To the north. To the north. I'm gonna have to stop looking for it soon and head back for fuel. The Chelonate is a long way to the north. Whatever that is exactly. Another Z-Beast course to float. So much carrion. We approach the Chelonate. Oh no, look at this. This is a giant corpse. I mean, think of how huge those ribs must be given the size of my ship. We'll sail through there. Should be getting creepy up in here. Discovered the Chelonate. Oh, they're up on the back of like a giant turtle shell or something. Let's see, what does this say? Gained a secret. Discovered the Gant pole, fed the crew, discovered Porzia's reef. What is that thing? Oh god, run! Lorn Fluke. Whatever it is, it has 600 health. Full power to the engines. This place looks cool. It's like built on a giant shell of like a, I guess a Sacha town. Discovered that. Where's the port here? Where'd the port be at? Tell me there's a port. There it is on the far end here. Discovered Shabble Port. Bed the crew. Alright, a shell as big as a wild dream. Made it to the Chelinate. Waves lap at the slabby sides of a vast turtle shell, bigger than any cathedral. Chelonites loaf on wooden docks around the shell sides, staring sullenly. Lamps hang like decorations in the festive butcher's window. All around you, the sea is rank with scraps of ancient flesh. Okay, so a giant sea turtle of some kind died here, and they made a settlement out of it. I can allow the plausible surgeon to go ashore here. Oh my word, look at these scars! Look at these stains! Release me from my contract, Captain, I beg you! I've saved up enough to compensate you. If I lose the plausible surgeon, who else do I have as a doctor? I don't have another doctor. I can't lose him. I guess I could, and then I could just try to find another doctor when I get back to town or whatever. Shore leave at the Chelinate. Beer and roistering are cheap here, but the hunters of the Chelinate take their roistering seriously. You can't be sure your crew will make it back safely. 30 echoes, high risk challenge. Obtain a doomed monster hunter. Okay, I don't have a captivating treasure, so I can't do that. I could put a Blemigan ashore. Perhaps it will nestle in some crevice in the ancient shell. You chivvy it onto the key. Or shivvy. Compile a port report. How does one express this very striking smell? The limits of meaningful expression. No matter what details you try to record, the stench creeps in around the edges of the sentences. The Chelonites, watchful despite the reek. Movement among the miasmic scraps of long-abandoned monster carcass. Frequent duels where the stink is thickest. I now have a port report the Chelinate. The remains of a vast turtle shell, voracious hunters, rotting flesh. I can tales for the bone. Someone is crying unusual wares, follow the sound. Show off a hunting trophy. Young Chelinates, I don't have a hunting trophy. Alright. I can also... Carboy of Primordial Shrieks can be sold here. Sapphires can be sold here for 99. Really? It was the laconic general who named the Carnelian Coast. Then she discovered it was full of sapphires. Imagine her embarrassment. Mount Nomad's Heart. In the depths of the mountain lay a great egg of smooth gold. Once every hour it pulses with slow and deadly life. Can be bought or sold. Can be sold for a searing enigma. Oh. Whispering trophy case can be sold for 150 here. Stygian ivory can be bought here. Black bones of sea monsters make for startling corsets. Uncle Ankle's lean place. Be welcome. Here are trophies. Well, let's check this place out. Tales for the Bone. The Scrimshaw Chronicler. A scrawny man squats beneath an awning of gant-colored whaleskin. "Bring me your tales!" he cries. "Tales for the bone!" Bring him a tale. If I had a hunting trophy and a Z story and a supplies, I could get an outlandish artifact. Oh, nice. Okay. Well, it looks like... do I want to get rid of my surgeon? I mean, I don't want to get rid of my surgeon, but... it'd probably be worth it. Let's do it and see what happens. A pocket full of echoes. The surgeon is as good as his word. Hands trembling, he counts out the coins and whispers a little secret he picked up back in London. He's vague about why he didn't mention it before. He collects his knives and instruments, heads into the shell, and is gone. Gain 200 echoes and a strategic information. But now I'm missing an officer. I need to find a new surgeon. Kind of need to go back to London at this point because my fuel is getting low. I guess I'm done here. My fuel is starting to get low, and I mean, I'd like to go to the Iron Republic to get fuel, actually. I suppose I probably have enough fuel to get to the Iron Republic. I might have to turn the light off for a while. I'm gonna turn the light off for a while. Which will make the terror start to build up, but I can live with that. The Reef of Roses. Afarox Channel. Far off, very far off. Someone screams. We're just booking right along here, no problem. I can probably use the light. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. That's gonna burn a lot of fuel. Shit. That is not the button for the light. I don't think I want to fight that right now. Khanate War Trimaran. Over by the Utter Shroom. The hungry dead. Your cook is outraged. One of the tomb colonists has woken from his coffined rest and found his way to the shores, to the stores. When the cook came across him, he had consumed a half-wheel of cheese and an alarming quantity of suet. Fling the villain overboard, he can walk home, or return him to the hold. Perhaps he'll stay put this time. We gotta return him to the hold. Expostulating all the way. If you had provided me with more commodious quarters. If this ship did not pitch so abominably. A man grows bored, you know. Death is deathly dull. And so forth, and so forth. It is a relief when the coffin lid closes. If only you could nail it shut. I lost one supplies. Alright, well. Worse things could have happened. A brisk spatter of no. 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 A brisk spatter of spray, the Unterzee is restless. I hate that one spot right there of darkness, but what can you do? I think I have enough fuel to make it, even with the light on at this point. Yeah, I do. It's not that far. Did I stop off here at the Melting Isles? What is this port? Oh, it's the Mangrave College. Yeah, of course I should stop there. Lipianen Port. Point. Tigalar Bay. The mists of the Sea of Autumn get into the eyes, the heart. It is not unusual to find yourself in unsuspected tears. Home, warmly lit windows, company, peace. Thoughts of home come at the strangest times. Alright, we're gonna hit the Mangrove College up real quick. We're gonna manual save. Alright, what can I do here? I could pick up a passenger. I'll pick up a passenger. Hey, Boss Pie. How you doing? Good to see you. And night to you, too. You just stopped by to say goodnight? Well, good night. Have a good one. Yeah, I'll pick up a passenger. They want to go to Corsair's Forest, Gator's Morn. Yeah, no problem. I can eat, drink, and be merry. I can gather supplies. I can go into the... No, I can't. I don't have Foxfire candles. I already have a port report here. Or I can go beachcombing. Let's eat, drink, and be merry and see what happens. We've done this before. Hunger is gone, lost 10 terror. That's very nice. Explosion of tastes. Alright, we've read that before. So... that's about all we're gonna do here. We're just gonna zoom right over to Iron Republic real quick. Hopefully not running out of fuel along the way. Going right through the fog. Even though fog makes terror increase faster. Going right through it anyway. We should be okay on fuel. We should be okay. Will we make it? Will we make it to the Iron Republic without running out of fuel? Find out in our next episode. That's gonna do it for this one. Thank you for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Sunless Sea.